Today we are joined by a nutritionist, and I am super excited for this one. She's going to dive into healthy and unhealthy foods and drinks. I feel like knowledge is the first step you take towards leading a healthy lifestyle. So let me let her introduce herself.
My name is Alice Gaduita. I am a certified clinical nutritionist with over 8 years of experience. I am happy to be the one taking you through how to lead a healthy life because it's something I enjoy so much in clinical nutrition. We say nutrition is preventive and not curative. So we are here to prevent what would happen or what is there, not to prolong. So I am happy to be here with Brenda, my friend, as we learn together. Thank you.
Wow. Karibu sana. I am so eager to hear from you, especially what you're going to talk about today, which is healthy and unhealthy foods and drinks. I have been trying to be so intentional with what I'm taking and how it's affecting my body. But you see, knowledge is very limited. So let's jump right in. Which are the healthy foods and drinks we're supposed to be mostly taking?
Okay, most of our foods are healthy, Brenda. It's only that sometimes we misuse them or whatever you do it wrongly. We have types of foods that you're supposed to have in your meals. And the same food I'm talking about are the same unhealthy foods when you do them wrongly.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's an interesting perspective.
Yes.
Okay.
And I love the way you have started by saying you have to be intentional. So we have carbohydrates, which is called macronutrients.
Okay.
We have protein, also macronutrients. And then we have vitamins and minerals, which are micronutrients that you really need in your body for prevention, like for prevention of infection and all that. But now for carbohydrates, it's energy-giving food. And then for proteins, it's bodybuilding food. And then you need these micronutrients to prevent yourself from infection. So there's no really unhealthy foods and there's no healthy foods if we misuse them. So we always say, or what we were taught in college is you do intemperance. Temperance is you don't overdo. You don't do in excess because our body, the way our bodies are designed, the same food, whatever we take in excess, now that is what we can call unhealthy. Whatever we take in excess, it is stored in our adipose tissue. That is why, and I like giving the example of when you fast for 5 days, you do not die.
Yes.
Why do you think you do not die? It is because your body is converting now the fat that was kept in your adipose tissue, either in your abdomen and the arms, and then it uses it as glucose. That is why you do not faint, you do not die, you are able to carry yourself through that fasting. So good food, of course, it is a balanced meal. We take it has to have carbohydrates, then proteins, and then vitamins and minerals. Yes, they are bad food because when you tell me now this one is you who is turning it to bad food. When you tell me you're taking nyama choma every day, of course I'll tell you now that is bad. If you tell me you're doing alcohol and overdoing it, and let's start by me teaching or educating us and our viewers that every 1 gram of carbohydrates we take 4 kilocalories. That is energy. Every 1 gram of protein we take again 4 kilocalories. And imagine you take now 100 grams of each, and then times 4. And then you have taken fat. Fat 1 gram is 9 kilocalories. That is why we do not pour a whole 5 liters of oil to make sukuma wiki or to make greens, because fat is very high. Even when we are doing malnutrition intervention, we add some oil to at least hit the threshold of energy that is required to this child who is malnourished. And then alcohol, why I'm saying it's that which you're calling unhealthy food, now that we can call it even bad, because 1 gram of alcohol is 7 kilocalories, but they are empty. So they do not
Empty to
really
me.
help you. They are not there to help your body so much, but they can grow your stomach. Unaona ni kubwa. Of course, they are working on your liver. They are working the liver so that you get rid. You see, when people are drinking, they go to the toilet a lot because the liver is trying to work on that, and then the kidney is excreting everything. So good food, have a balanced meal, and you must balance it. When I say balancing, you have carbohydrates, let's say a half, you have a half of protein and a half plate of quarter, and then a half plate of vegetables. Yes, that's about it.
Yes. All right. Now you touched on oil. Which is the oil we are supposed to use? Which is the healthier option?
Okay, the healthier options are these liquid oils. But again, remember, they are not the same. The world has changed, evolved to very many things. We have this other oil that you go and you find in the shop, they are cutting. Or you find someone making chapati somewhere and they are using that one.
The solid one.
Now the problem with the solid one, you see, even when you keep that chapati and you go and touch, it's like it goes back to its original form. Yeah. So the best or the better is the liquid one. But which one? Mostly vegetable one. Okay. You see, Akina Elianto, I am not here to say any brand is bad, but the oil liquid one is safer.
Better.
Yeah, it's better. But now the other one, the solid one, you see Akina Kimbo, the one we used to use Kitambo and Kasuku, those ones are vegetable and they may not affect you. But this other one, because sometimes we want to do more, we want to do a lot, it's the liquid one is better.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. When you say, when somebody says healthy and unhealthy, me what comes to mind is healthy is ndoma, ngwashe, and then unhealthy is crisps and junk foods.
Okay, you're right. We always say every answer is right, depending on your argument. It is true. Ndoma, ngwashe, cassava, bananas, green bananas. That's what I mean. If you take that for breakfast, it's better.
Okay.
Reason, it's the heavy kind of carbohydrates, and also it's called low glycemic index. They convert a sugar very slowly. That's why even a diabetic person, you'll hear them being told, take this, take that. And but the person who takes ndoma and the person who takes bread, 2 slices, 3 slices, they are very different. Because the bread converts very fast. Actually, if I put you on bread for 2 weeks, it's enough for you to grow.
Really?
Yes, very fast.
What if I eat brown bread?
It doesn't matter. It's wheat. It is wheat. Yeah, I know now I'm crushing you. But ndomas are healthy. That's why I said it depends with how you use this food. You can get a real brown bread with fiber, but mostly we don't get those. And if we get them, they are very expensive. So some people are not able to afford. The same way, sometimes when I'm teaching in the hospital and you really know these people cannot afford this liquid oil, you tell them, use this solid oil, yes, but when let's say you're frying your vegetables, you're frying whatever you're frying, so you use onion and you use this fat, that is fat, you put the onion first and then you introduce the oil. Because if you do oil first and then you heat it to an extent it has broken all the bonds and it is waiting for something to swallow, then you add your onion and that you see that fire. Now that's where now we introduce carcinogens. And I think I've been with you in another forum where people asked why people are getting cancer of the stomach and all that. Sometimes it's caused by very simple mistakes, which I know we will discuss.
So please clarify, how are we supposed to start the cooking? With the onions or with the oil? You start with onions. You let them, like, they lose their water. You see now when it is fresh and when you have heated it a little bit, it doesn't look the same. It will not taste the same. And then you introduce oil. Because now that way, you will not heat this oil so much. But now when you start with oil, you may not even tell
at what degree should I stop and put the onion. So I always advise people, and that's what I was taught. You start with onion, and then don't make it start turning black. That's now the carcinogens I'm talking about. Just brown it if you have to, and then you put your nyanya or whatever you put first. Yeah.
There's this thing I've had quite a lot, that non-stick pans, whatever they're coated with, that as you use it after a while, that coat comes out, and that we've consumed that coat, and that coat causes cancer. Is that true?
Well, I will not say 100% that it causes cancer, but I'll say 100% sometimes it comes out. I have them and they have come out and they don't look very nice. But let me tell you about what now affects people or will affect your stomach. It's that non-stick, and then you start cooking with this steel spoon. Or whatever steel you're cooking with. Even on the aluminium, the normal one, we discourage people from cooking with that, because you remove those things, especially aluminium, and that is what now you eat. Imagine you're eating metal. Do you think metal can digest? Yeah, you're not safe as long as you. That's why nowadays they are wooden sticks, they are plastic spoons. Yeah, don't use metal to a metal. When you start doing that, you ingest it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I wouldn't say that I'm safer by using an aluminium pot as compared to someone who's using a non-stick.
You will be very safe. You see, the way we have talked about healthy food and unhealthy foods, it's the way you use them. You see, you will not go to a very rural area and start telling that mom to buy non-stick, yet even affording food is very hard.
Yeah.
So what you do, advise them not to use the steel. Stainless, whether a stainless steel, the spoon, don't cook with it, because that's when you remove the steel and then you swallow it, the aluminium. And whoever is using that one, you use stick, and the one who is using the non-stick pan, also using a stick, you also safe. Yes.
You had mentioned fat. Is there anything like healthy and unhealthy fat?
Yes, we call them cis fat and trans fat. You see now the kind of fat that that one we are talking about, solid.
Yes.
Sometimes when you overdo, it's not safe. You see this olive oil, not everybody who will afford, but it is very good. The reason one is safe and the other one is not safe. If you take it, there are people who eat food with water here. They bite food, then they take water.
Yeah.
What are you doing to that food? Sometimes, if you had cooked with the fat, it will go to the former state, the natural state of it. So sometimes it builds up in the body. And remember, our liver is the one who does all these jobs. Your liver is very important. And let me say this before we continue even. My professor used to say, if my husband, now her husband, not mine, comes and say, I love you with all my heart, she will not even pay attention, because the hearts forget. But if you tell her, I love you with all my liver, she will know you love with everything that you have.
Wow.
Because when the liver gets sick, it cannot emulsify fat. Emulsifying fat is like beating that egg white so that the body is able to absorb the absorbable fat that is supposed to help your body. Again, you cannot live without fat. If you do not have fat, you will start feeling cold very fast. That's why someone who is malnourished, they're always cold. So you still need fat, but not the bad fat. It's in the way we use it. So cis fat is those ones, that liquid ones, are safer than this other one. Yes.
There are people who identify as, is it vegans? Vegans, yes. As them compared to us who eat all kinds of meat. Who is healthier?
Okay. You can be a vegan. They are healthy. But some become emaciated for some reason. You can be, I don't know what I'll call, we are not carnivorous, but you're eating meat, that's what you mean.
Yes.
And all this animal protein.
Yes.
You can be safe if you want. But of course, vegans are okay. But what if you need more iron? Remember, when you take meat is very high in iron, and mostly organ meats.
Yes.
The one who takes that and the one who will take black beans, which we call njahe, bioavailability for you who is taking meat is very high. But this one will take time. You have to take more. All the vegans that vegans have to do is they will do more than you have to do. It's only that now us who eat meat, we do it wrongly. We overdo it, or we cook it wrongly. Sometimes I can allow you to boil meat every day. You take it. It's a protein, but are you taking vegetables? That's why I said we need a balanced meal, and I'll explain to you why it is vegans are safer, yes, and why you are also safe. Yeah. Carbohydrates, we've said it is energy giving food. Immediately you put it in your mouth. Immediately I put rice here and I mix with my saliva. Immediately I put bread here. Any carbohydrate, the digestion starts.
Yeah.
Even you learned that in biology.
Yeah.
The protein, once it gets to my stomach and it starts digestion. For vitamins and minerals, they are not really digested. At least they go to your bloodstream. Yes, they help you. So when you tell me you are a vegan, are you just taking beans, ugali, beans, and greens? You see, sometimes you are depriving yourself other things. Yeah, so it is good that they are vegans, but it is also good to be very careful so that you don't get to a point where you start now going to the hospital to be given iron supplements so that your blood comes up, or they find that you have deprived yourself other nutrients like magnesium, zinc, all those. It is good to be very careful, but yeah, the vegan diet is safer. But you know, there is vegetarian and total vegan. Yeah. Vegetarian sometimes can take eggs and milk. A vegan does not take any of those. They just eat these other things. But they do not take eggs, they do not take milk, any animal products they do not. Yes.
They don't take.
Yes. Now you see where I'm coming from.
Yes.
A vegetarian who is taking eggs and everything, at least they're there. But a vegan does not. So you have to be very careful to know to what extent can I go. Yeah.
You mentioned there's a wrong way of cooking meat. Please tell us the right way. I love eating meat, so I better be knowing the right way of cooking it.
Okay, there are people who prefer to put a lot of oil in meat. Remember, the meat itself has its oil. So I prefer, and this is the way I'll teach people, but you can choose to do a little bit of oil.
Yeah.
This is what I do it, and I tell people to do it. You do your meat, just put it in a pot.
Okay.
And then you steam it. It has its own water. If it is hard, you put water so that it can boil until that water is over. When it is over, you cut your onion. You had cut your onion, now you add it on top.
Yes.
And then it will steam a little bit.
The onion.
Yes, the onion. And then you put your nyanya and everything. That meat, you will never know you had not added any oil. But if you must put oil, let it be very little. And then chicken. And now this is where I know I hurt very many people by saying this. Stop eating the skin. Of the broiler. Yes, that's the one that is carrying everything else. That now the doctor, if you have pressure, if you have diabetes, if you have what, they'll go and tell you, no, don't do it. Just do it skinless if it is not kienyeji.
So the broiler, it's only the skin part that's...
Yeah, the rest is protein, and it's about muscle. You see, protein is about muscle.
Yes.
You eat it in kienyeji, you eat it in broiler. Just make sure it cooks. You're not eating the running liquid that looks like blood. But the skin, I would prefer you remove, because anybody who comes to me, either they want to prevent diabetes or pressure, or they just want to eat healthy, I tell them to eat it skinless. And then for fish, okay. for omena, you're okay. You see, we have very many options of proteins, and that are very helpful, because like omena, someone with just arthritis will take omena every day and they'll tell you, I'm feeling better. Why? Because there's omega-3 in that omena. And don't remove the head. Actually, that is why it is concentrated.
Okay, the head of the omena.
People remove the head.
Is that the same for the fish? That the head part of the fish?
It has oil. I see there are people who know how to eat it, but of course, where I come from, people learn to eat fish, but they don't know really how to eat fish. But omena and fish are very good. That omega-3 is like putting grease in two metals. Yes, so that it's able to still move. So it gives you that grease in your joints.
Okay.
Yes.
This is a video interlude to show you the space I've been shooting from, which is Sifa House. First off, how gorgeous is this place? And it's in a serene environment. It's a 5-bedroom Airbnb with own compound and ample parking space. It's located along Thika Road, Kimbo Ruiru, Kiganjo Road. Now guys, this space is perfect for your bridal pickups, your rural shows, your family long stays, small group events, and content creation like your podcast, YouTube, photo shoots. Now the only thing standing between you and this hidden gem is making that call and booking this space. So what are you waiting for? Make that call.
Red meat and white meat. I've had it so many times that white meat is better than red meat. What's the difference?
The difference is sometimes red meat. When you overdo it, there are people who develop that a condition called atherosclerosis. Okay. It's a condition where the fat builds up in your vein, inside your arteries, and then when it is too much, like let's say it's like this, your blood will try to push through that small space that is left, and then what will happen? You have pressure. That is what we call blood pressure or hypertension.
So this is caused by the red meat?
Mostly not just red meat, many fat that you eat, but sometimes red meat. Because if you are if the doctor says you have pressure, mostly they will tell you reduce the red meat. Because sometimes we cook it, we undercook it. Sometimes we eat every day. Eat nyama choma every day. If you do not develop gout, it's either you will have uric acid or you will have that. It is good everything to do in temperance. Have you gone to a place where they do nyama choma? Why do they give you kachumbari? They may not have an understanding, but eat it with vegetable. That's a vegetable they are giving you. Why? Because when you eat vegetable, there is roughage. That is one of them. You will go to the toilet very well. But again, the fiber is not digested. It is fermented in your body, and then it sits in your colon. What does it do there in your colon? It attracts water, yes, but it also traps bad cholesterol. It traps the excessive sugar. So it comes out as waste, yeah? It comes with your stool, like that. So fiber is very important. You cannot live without eating greens. And that's why I tell mothers, if a child is refusing completely to eat greens, sometimes blend that green vegetable and then put it as soup in the stew. Let them eat. Let them eat it there. You'll only put it when the food is almost cooked, so that you don't overcook these grains, because again, when we overcook them, we waste a lot of nutrients, we leave fiber. Yeah, so red meat is good because it has this high iron, it is protein and all that, but mostly it affects people. And again, I've talked before about when cows ingest aflatoxin, whether in animal feeds or whatever, maize, they are not digested. And then when you take a lot of aflatoxin, cancer. Yeah, and red meat is not only cancer, it's not only high blood pressure, it's not only diabetes, it's not only the atherosclerosis, it also will give you sometimes those gouts and uric acid. And uric acid, sometimes when it's in the body, is very painful. You smell it from far. You smell meat from far and you hate it. Yes.
I'm pretty sure you've observed how we are eating in the modern day. What supplements would you say we are lacking from our eating habits?
Okay. I would not say supplement lacking, but our eating habits nowadays are bad because most of us will not cook in the house. You go buy chipo,
Yeah.
and then you eat maybe with sausage. Is there a vitamin there?
No.
Of course not. That's just starch, carbohydrates, and then protein. And then number 2, the way we eat, we skip breakfast. We eat lunch sometimes, or we skip breakfast, we skip lunch, we eat supper.
Yes.
Now, people will keep telling you, my tummy is big. How can I reduce my tummy? How can I reduce this meat? You such like things. But you ate wrong. In fact, you are supposed to eat this other way.
Yeah.
If you tell me you are not eating dinner, Mimi, I will not ask you any question. Just eat a fruit or take your green tea, take your herbal tea. But breakfast, you're supposed to eat food. If you cannot eat food, just make sure you eat well. Those kind of carbohydrates in the morning are good. You can take nduma, you can take uwashe, you can take muhogo, you can take yam, or you can take a meal, or you can take proteins. You can take proteins like sausages, maybe, if you want. You can take beans and vegetables. And then lunch also, make sure you eat very well. But dinner, if you have not eaten by 7, just eat like a poor man, because you will, what we make now, I know we will talk about mistakes. You eat and you jump into your bed. What do you expect? Your body is resting. Because our body is going to rest at night. Now most of the food is stored in our adipose tissue. That's why women, this one is always hanging, and we do.
Yeah, I'm really struggling with mine.
And then we have this, it comes here. So that fat, sometimes it's us who build it slowly by slowly, because we eat more at night and then we skip the most important. Do you know the meaning of breakfast? Breakfast meaning you're breaking the fast.
Okay.
Imagine you've been fasting, then you continue fasting. You want to break at night when all that food goes to your body. So that one is a mistake. That's a bad eating habit.
So are you saying breakfast is important?
Very important.
Wow. Okay. Good for me. I love breakfast. I most of the time I take breakfast and lunch sometimes, but of late I've really tried to have one meal a day. Is that healthy?
No, I always say don't skip meals. Eat your breakfast, eat your lunch. Dinner, you can have your fruits. You can have a pudding. You can have one fruit. You can have nuts. It's okay, you can have yogurt. But now skipping because you want to lose weight or intermittent fasting, fine, you will be fine, and then all of a sudden you will add more than you had. Yeah, that's my fear, because some people now go back even worse. Yes.
So when we're still talking about the healthy eating, drinking water is part of the healthy eating.
Yes.
How important is drinking water? I struggle with drinking water. Gosh.
Okay, you know, water does not have taste per se, unless you're so thirsty and you feel that you need water.
Yeah.
But it is very, very important. And I'll give you this example, and maybe it will change your life. Imagine I go to the toilet, you go to the toilet, he goes to the toilet, and we are not flushing. How is that toilet?
Really bad.
So you eat chipo, you eat sausage, you eat ugali, and you're not taking water. What do you expect? So it is good to clean your system. Actually, you see, immediately you wake up. If you learn every day to take a glass of warm water, your life will never be the same again. I've said that on other avenues, and people say it works. If you cannot swallow plain water, just put some lemon in it. Okay. Just take it, then go shower, come take your breakfast. Your life will never be the same. And then make sure you keep taking water. You know, we are supposed to take 2 liters. That is 8 glasses a day. If you cannot, at least start with 1. I don't know how, but distribute it. Make sure. Some of us don't feel thirsty, especially when it is raining. You will never feel thirsty. But learn to just take water when you have what I've said in mind. Yes.
The other day I saw a picture of the kidney. It's open, and then it looks like there are stones inside. And then the caption was, your kidney will look like this if you're not taking water. How true is that?
It
It
can.
really scared me.
It can, but also there are other things that cause kidney stones. But why are you not taking water? How is your kidney going to do all these processes without you giving it water so that it can bring something out? That is when you start going, you go for a short call and it's so green, it's even feeling like it's burning you.
Yeah.
It is not good for your bladder actually. Yes, just take water so that you can keep releasing it.
My goodness.
Yes.
God
and also
help
for
me.
your skin, water is very important.
The fact that you've mentioned for your skin, there's a question I wanted to find out. Is there a food that you can take that can make you glow?
Fruits, vegetables.
Actually,
Actually, you see the fiber, the water. Fruits will have all the nutrients, very many nutrients, those micronutrients that you need. And then they have water in themselves. You eat things like melon, you crush them, and you have your zinc, and then you have your vitamins, you have all these things. And then you take water. So your skin glows. Yeah, automatically. But when you do not take water, and I do this, sometimes it doesn't
It will take
return.
time
Yeah, it takes
to
time to
go
return.
back.
Yeah, because again, you're drying your skin. And why are you doing that?
my goodness, I have a long journey to take with water.
Start with a step.
There is something I've heard about pork. Pigs eating everything dirty, and then we are eating pigs. Does it really affect us?
Okay, I don't know if it's a myth, what I've heard. Sometimes, I know, what do you call it, H. pylori. Sometimes it's brought by you taking vegetables, maybe they sipped from a pitra tin.
Yeah.
They sipped that E. coli from pitra tin. So this Helicobacter pylori, that bacteria, sometimes it doesn't clear. So you take pork and you undercook it. Remember, it's eating all these things. Sometimes even diapers and everything gets in. So sometimes you ingest that also because you're undercooking it.
So the thing is in undercooking.
Okay, I always say it's undercooking, and also don't overdo
the pork.
You see, pork, it's like fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then because of the things it eats, honestly, you have to cook it completely. Very well done. You cannot underdo it. Yes.
Let's dive into beverages. For those of us who love soda, we hear it's bad, but how bad is it? Can you manage?
Okay. We had talked about temperance. Soft drinks, really, from where I see it, from my profession, it's not good for me. That's what I'll say. But we still do it. But how much of it do you do?
Yes.
You see, there are people who take soda every day. Remember, just Coke, Fanta, they have a lot of sugar. A lot. And then, you do not love water. In biology, it's simple mathematics. What used to happen when you put potato, we used to drill a hole in it, and then the other one a hole in it. One we put salt inside or sugar inside, and the other one we put salt water. What used to happen in those two potatoes?
One will absorb.
Which one?
That one.
The one that will absorb the water inside is the one that has salt inside. And that's your cell. The one that has a lot of salty water, it drains that potato. It used to be so dry. You remember we used to touch it like this and that's what you do to your cells. So when you take a lot of salt, when you take a lot of sugar, you're not nourishing them. And again, let me tell you something simple. The research that was done about cancer is that the cancer cells thrive in sugar. But also the other ones, you cannot deny them sugar completely. Yeah. But remember, rice you take is sugar. It's simple sugar. Ugali you take is simple sugar. And then you take a soda. You have added sugar.
Yes.
So and you're not maybe taking water. You see, sometimes instead of doing soda every day, just try to reduce, then you can stop if you have to.
I really love junk food. How far can I go with them?
The problem with junk food is that you like a balloon very fast. Why? Because crisps. Crisp is waro, is potatoes. That's starch.
Yes.
Biscuits, it's wheat and sugar. Very fast. So junk food is not good. And if I do a diet plan for you, there's nowhere I have written snack at 10:30, snack at 4:30, but my snack is nuts and a fruit. Or yogurt. And it's very good. We mentioned that yogurt is very good, especially for women. You see, every day if you can afford the small one, fine. But if you can't, after your periods, take. You will avoid all these infections.
So it's true the yogurt helps balance bacteria down there.
Yes, because one, it's pre-digested. Then the culture in it helps you.
Wow, very interesting. Guys, those are some of the healthy tips here and there that you should be applying if you want to lead a healthy lifestyle. Maybe something you can tell us as we wind up.
Nutrition is a science, but you can make it an art. It starts with you. You can do a very good nutrition before you conceive a child. And then after conception, that child stays in your womb for 9 months. They need to be nourished so that you give birth to a healthy baby. Once you give birth to a healthy baby, you do exclusive breastfeeding, which most mothers don't do, which is very important. You cannot miss that. And then after you start introducing your baby to food, stop making these mistakes of food that you make the same kind of food and you do not know, which we will talk about. So a healthy nutrition or healthy meals makes a healthy life. Thank you.
I think just before we wind up, since we are talking healthy and unhealthy, what would a healthy meal plan for a day look like?
Okay, a healthy meal plan for a day, I said you have to do balanced.
Yes.
Your breakfast must have a carbohydrate, a protein,
Yes.
and vitamin. And again, stop eating banana the first thing you wake up and you want to eat breakfast. You will be full. You eat it as a snack in between at around 10. If you take your breakfast at 9 a.m., you can take a banana at 11:30. You can do, if you do a banana and then gouache, you see now you've done a lot of carbohydrate. Just make sure you have these vegetables and then fruits. Even proteins, we have animal and plant proteins. You can do beans in the morning, you can do a meat, you can do a protein, just a protein. You know, there are so many, maybe we will mention them as we go. And then have a balanced breakfast, and then have a balanced meal, lunch, and then balanced dinner. But if you don't want dinner, fine. You take your fruits and take your herbal tea or yogurt.
Right.
Yes.
Wow, so much gem to have from this episode. Maybe you'd want further consultation with a nutritionist here. Maybe you can tell us how we can reach you, or anybody out there.
Okay, for those who would like to see me, you can find me at Ngara, opposite KU Parklands Law School. It's called Graceland Court. My office is there, and also you can reach out to me on 0740 922 938. 0740 922 938.
We'll tag her contact down below. An email maybe?
An email is nutritionbora@gmail.com. nutritionbora@gmail.com.
So guys, that is how you can reach her for further consultation. Thank you. Bye.